What's up, YouTube? Chris Moreno back with another video. So I'm just gonna jump right into it just because I'm about to start my workout. So I know for most people, whenever they go into the gym, they don't necessarily have a warm-up routine. They're just like, oh hey, it's chest day, I'm gonna just go barbell bench press. And they go right to the bench press, throw on 2 plates, and eventually snap their shit up. So I want to show you guys my for sure go-to moves when it comes to doing any workout, right? So I'm just going to share the dynamic warm-up, right? And it's not to say this is all I do. Depending on what I'm specifically doing that day, I may incorporate some additional things, but I'm going to show you guys the for sure things I do no matter what workout that I'm doing, just because the way that I train doesn't matter when I'm working out. To some degree, the entire body is involved from head to toe, right? But let's get right into it.
All right, guys, so I'm gonna just do a quick voiceover as I take you guys through the dynamic warm-up. So I've mentioned before, I always start my dynamic warm-up with the feet, and I've been doing these weighted feet rock backs where I'm just going back and forth between going on my heels and onto the balls of my feet, finishing in the calf raise. And I do these weighted to put myself under load, so that way I'm still making sure to engage everything as I normally would. From there, I go into these resistant band tibialis raises, performing a set of 20, and then I perform this scooting forward isometric drill where I'm driving my heels into the ground as I'm continuing to dorsiflex as much as I can. I'm really focusing on my knees going as far forward as they can while my feet remain in the dorsiflex position. And after those 2 feet activation, calf activation drills, tibialis activation drills, I go ahead and do these single leg balances with my eyes closed. I do 5 seconds with my arms down and then 5 seconds in an overhead position. Of course, both sides. You know, every time I'm showing any of these movements, of course, I'm only going to show one side for the sake of time, but you always want to do both. And then I transition into the hips by going into these pigeon drags with this twist, right? So as I go into the stretch, I'm pushing myself away with the back leg, having my opposite elbow go across my body, and then I bring the heel towards the other heel to where I then push out with the knee. And then after that, I go into these adductor rock backs to a hip extension, right? So I'm just walking my hands back, right? Really focusing on getting a stretch in the groin. And then from there, I walk my hands forward just enough to where I'm able to squeeze my glutes. 5 each side. And then I do some cat to camels. So you'll notice I'm having my hands and elbows involved. So as I'm going into the cat stretch, I'm turning my hands in. And as I'm going into the camel stretch, I'm turning my hands out. So that way I'm really making sure I'm getting the most out of this spinal movement, right? I like to think of this as like flossing my spine, right? From here, I go into this sprinter stretch, thoracic spine rotation, alternating between each side. So it's pretty much like a combination of a lizard stretch and a spider stretch with rotations on both. 3 each side, and then I switch legs and do it again. And then I do these bear to down dog variations. So I'll go into a pike, right? And then I go into a down dog after I push myself back, getting like 2 to 4 reps of that. And then I'll do a couple of these single arm bear to down dogs pretty much. And then I always push myself back up into a squat. And then from there, I transition into some core movements. So this is just a basic low plank, but I'm driving my elbows into the ground and downward at the same time, squeezing my glutes and my quads. And I'm really focusing on getting deep breaths in through the nose and then fully exhaling. Getting 4 breaths while maintaining that full body tension. After that, I go into some side mermaids where I'm driving my knee into the ground, having my hip up as high as possible. And then I go into the side plank with rotation variations with my feet stacked, with my top leg up, and then with my top leg touching the floor into a Copenhagen style. Doing pretty much 1 rep of each of those variations, both sides. And then I go into these dead bugs where I'm exhaling as I extend, inhaling as I come in, getting 5 each side. Again, creating and maintaining full body tension throughout the entire movement. And after these dead bugs, I then go into some hollow body rocks with an overhead press, right? Just really getting a feel for my body movement pretty much. And then I get a couple where I'm coming up into a butterfly stretch. But yeah.
So yeah, guys, that's pretty much the gist of what my dynamic warm-up consists of every workout. So like I mentioned, that's not all that it is that I do. That's just my for sure go-to movements for every single workout. So for example, I'm about to hit some barbell back squats right now. So what I've been doing as of recent, I'll do some single leg press, right? Really focusing on loading my ankles. I'll hit some hamstring dominant back extensions. I include some pretty much like 2 to 3 isometric reps. So that's just an example of what I do for my back squat. Again, depending on what I'm starting with will usually determine what I do after the basic dynamic warm-up. But if you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and I'll see you guys next week. Let's stack another win. I'm gonna start off by smashing my first weight training session of the week, because on Mondays I do my burpees of death. But y'all have a good one. Talk to y'all soon. Take care. Peace.